Hi, I'm Trend Beast.
And I'm Madcap.
Well, hello, Internet. We're here, even though it's a little bit late, to review this.
Or more accurately, to put it on trial.
Yep.
This comic is being Steve Rogers, Captain America #1, is being tried for the crime of defamation to the character of one of the most patriotic and symbolic heroes in comic book history.
Very true, very true. Created in 1941 by two Jewish writers, or rather two comic creators, Joe Simon and Jack Kirby, he was supposed to be the symbol of, well, truth, justice, and the American way. The ultimate bit of propaganda against the Nazis, by making basically the biggest slap in the face to Germany that you could think of. He was the model of Aryan perfection.
And somehow, the imbeciles at Marvel Comics have decided to reverse that and make it the biggest slap in the face to American patriotism by making him an agent of the parallel of Nazism.
And yes, by the way, we're both very well aware that Hydra existed in the comics long before World War II, according to comics continuity anyway. Evil paramilitary white supremacist group. Evil paramilitary white supremacist group. So, basically, anyone who makes the argument, it's not Nazis, no, he's actually joined something worse, and still against what he's supposed to be standing for.
Red Skull, who was a leader of Hydra, was also a member of Hitler's army.
Well, not in the comic. Well, he is now.
Yeah.
That you can thank the movies for.
It's the continuity of it.
Yeah.
But when push comes to shove, it was a parallel. It was happening. It basically, Captain America stood for, he didn't discriminate against anyone. He liked anyone. It didn't matter who you were, what you were about. He cared about everyone.
There you go.
Suddenly they took that and made him join a group that's xenophobic, classist, bigoted. You could say slightly misogynistic. Basically, any of the bad things that we as Americans tend to discourage, it's doing. Basically, wait. Imagine if Donald Trump created a terrorist organization. You'd have Hydra.
You mean other than the one he already has?
Good point.
Okay. But no. This just really is, and granted, to play devil's advocate, both of us have read Captain America #1, which, funny story, before this whole controversy broke out, I'm not sure how I managed to do it, because it's my error. I actually pre-ordered 2 copies. The second one is right here.
Dos.
So, 2 copies. By the way, side note, out of my rage, Thing from Another World comics, you can find them at tfaw.com. Great guys. They'll ship the comics right to your door. Pretty good prices for it.
They're still making those?
Thing from Another World?
Yeah.
No, they're a comics company now. Or they're a distributor.
Holy
I don't know if they're
shit.
making the Thing from Another World comics.
Oh.
They might be. I don't know. Go on tfaw.com and find out.
That's awesome.
But, lost my train of thought. No, I didn't. Okay. I'm sorry, you want to take it off?
Yeah, I'll take it from here.
Take it a bit here. I'm just trying to.
I'll take this as, because we're two different types of super fans. He's more traditionalist, knows all the comics, knows all the history. I follow things from a pure fanboy, spastic cosplayer point of view. Filming something, Grams. Filming something, and I don't have editing skills.
Let me take it over a little bit from
Yeah.
here, then we can handle that. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
She's gone now.
You want to continue?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
This is live TV, folks.
Live.
Well, technically not live, but
Unedited.
it's unedited.
Anything could happen. I mean, we
Off
could
the
be
cuff.
doing Miss Saigon, and the chopper might not come in. You don't know. It's amazing.
But
Sorry, go on.
So from the point of a spastic fanboy, basically the type of person, that geeks out, that goes over, the ideals as opposed to all the history. I read this and got increasingly more pissed. And the biggest slap in the face to me was, as a writer, I write poetry, I dabble in fanfic. It doesn't even give a legitimate, there is no plot continuity. I tried to give it the benefit of the doubt and read it for what it was as a comic, but it sucks to even tell a proper story.
And to be fair, I've been told this by several people, that maybe you should just relax and see where the plot progression goes. And I would agree to that if the first bump on the road was not, hey, Captain America's in Hydra now. And no,
there's no build-up for it.
It's not even that it's no build-up. Well, that's a big part of it, too. And they insist that there was some kind of thing. And I will grant, I have not read the most recent runs on Captain America. I haven't. I admit that fully.
Me neither.
I will throw out some things that are good that I've been reading from Marvel. I believe it's Jason Aaron run on Doctor Strange right now, Last Day of Magic. Spectacular. I've even recommended it to Shaq here. Awesome
check
stuff.
It out.
Awesome stuff. The run on who was doing the run on Nova? The current run on Nova was actually pretty enjoyable. But this, you're telling me you've basically taken, again, it's like, Shaq said, the symbol of American patriotism and turning him into everything that he stands against. I don't honor stupidity. So when the first stop on the road of, hey, maybe this is a good plot, is Captain America's in Hydra, not gonna give you money for that. Sorry, Nick Spencer, will not happen.
And for those of you all that, that follow memes, that are part of the, pop culture world, let me break it down to you. Captain America being part of Hydra is like the Dos Equis man telling you not to stay thirsty. Captain America being part of Hydra is like Flavor Flav saying, no, boy. Captain America being part of Hydra is like Justin Bieber being a tolerable singer. Captain America being part of Hydra is like Simon Cowell being nice.
Shaq. I think they get the point.
Woo!
Good. You want to keep going?
Yeah. If I do, I'll never stop.
Okay.
They call me Rambling Shaq for a reason.
There you go.
But
there you go.
It's a bastardization. Like I said, it would be understand because there's been times like Civil War, which had its flaws. We're not talking about the movie. We're talking about the comic. It had its flaws.
Movie was good,
but you could kind of understand because it was somewhat well written. I'm not going to give it too much credit. In places. You could understand what they were doing with it, and there was clear reasons for what went on.
Right.
This literally blindsides you. It's just, in the end, Hail Hydra. It doesn't come from nowhere. There's no explanation as to why. It's just
the weirdest part about it that I'm sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
The weirdest part about it is, it's like Shaq said, there's no real build up to it. Because through the rest of the comic, and I've reread it since, there's no build-up, there's no hint, there's nothing. Because for the beginning parts, like up until, the last 2 pages, somewhere around there, last 2 pages or so, he's Cap. He's behaving like Cap. He's fighting terrorists, is, working with his group of patriotic-themed, I guess, sidekicks?
Former
sidekicks. And, again, fighting terrorism and, basically being the decent all-American guy. And then suddenly, on which page? Hail Hydra.
What?
Just, like the meme, I know you've seen it 100 times, but Hail Hydra. And it just, out of nowhere.
What gets me the most is his inner monologue the entire time is about heroism and being a hero and what goodness means. So apparently what the writers are trying to do is say that Hydra's the good guys. That is essentially what your Marvel writers, so for all of you saying, it's continuity, they can retcon it, don't take it so seriously, they're making someone who has been a villain, an organization that has been a villain from the beginning of comic time, and all of a sudden they're now the good guys?
And here's the thing with that. The argument against the retcons that I've seen. Are we good? Is it
Making
still-
sure.
Yeah, okay, it's still
Yeah,
going.
it's still going.
Okay. The argument for the retcons. Here's the thing. Just because something gets retconned out doesn't mean it still doesn't affect the character. For example, Scarlet Witch, ever since the House of M incident. She's still constantly portrayed in any modern thing that I've seen as basically near or close to her wit's end.
A lot of people don't like Hank Pym because he's seen as a woman beater. Actually, perfect example, a lot of you pick on Aquaman because this isn't even comic continuity. This is a damn TV show.
Yeah.
The Super Friends turned him into a fish-talking, water-dependent bitch. And that automatically killed all credibility he had as a superhero. When actually, he's a badass.
Yeah, he's king over 80% of the Earth.
He's got Superman's
I'm just-
powers and then some.
Yeah.
With the exception of flying.
Back over there.
He's like Superman.
Well, actually, he can't fly.
I don't think he can fly.
I don't know.
I don't think he can
I don't.
fly.
I'm just like.
But he's bulletproof.
Marvel.
He's bulletproof. He's
Yeah.
super strong. All of these cool things, and they neuter him, and you all see him in the Super Friends version. So yes, this crazy shit like this does ruin comics.
Yes. Even when it's not in comics, as you saw there, or like or for another example that ruins things. And granted, a lot of people have made arguments for it. One More Day with Spider-Man, 2007, right on the tail end of Civil War. You know, and if you want to get a more in-depth version of it, check out Atop the Fourth Wall, Linkara, the guy who runs the site. Amazing dude. On the off chance that he ever sees this, big fans.
Really, big fans.
Big fans. But he goes through a whole in-depth thing, and ultimately, Peter Parker rejects the notion of with great power comes great responsibility. It's a slap in the face to the character that was created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. But even that, and we've talked about this, even that is not as much of a slap in the face as this. And I don't care if it's a retcon, because again, as we've established, retcons can hurt people for years outside of whatever happened.
Trivia: are you aware that the Incredible Hulk originally was an intelligent being that spoke in complete sentences?
And was gray.
All of a sudden, coloring error, now we know him as green, and now, because of someone else deciding to take liberties with it, you think a Hulk that speaks in complete sentences is unreliable, which is why so many of you crap all over Agents of Smash. It's a TV show, I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I have not actually, I've heard things.
It's Hulk, Scar.
I'm familiar
but
with
he's
the show.
actually talking the whole time, and a lot of people hate on it because they say that's not the real Hulk because he's talking and he's intelligent. But that's how he was originally written.
Right.
But you don't see him that way.
No,
because
you've
someone
had-
else messed with it.
Right. Which, and again, you can do different things with characters and change up certain things that will, make them better. Like, for example, Scott Lang, who I know everybody loves because of the Ant-Man movie, and for fans of the comic beforehand, originally didn't have as much of a noble backstory as he does now. He wasn't... oh, crap. Not yet. Not at the burning yet. Didn't have as much of a noble purpose as he did in the beginning. In the beginning, when he first showed up, he was just a thrill seeker. The backstory about trying to help out his daughter by resorting to crime came in later as a retcon. So there is such a thing as a good retcon.
This is not an example
This is not a
of
good
that.
one.
Put it like this. I want you to imagine 20 years down the road, your kids, now avid comic book fans, and they know Captain America as a Hydra agent. That is the only Cap they have ever known. They see him as a Hydra agent. If they ever make a movie with Cap not as a Hydra agent, they'll watch our MCU movies and say, wait a minute, that's not Cap. Cap's supposed to be in Hydra. He's a bad guy.
Now,